Seeing you.
That was a great question because it was mine.
Okay.
So I will ask you about.
Those are always the best questions.
I will ask you about basically how did the SC UCLA element develop? What were your initial thoughts? And what do you see the conference getting out of that relationship beyond just a fabulous market? What do you think the league can get from it?
I mean, I grew up in Arizona. I grew up when the Pac-12 was the Pac-8, the Pac-10, and now the Pac-12. My father was a football student athlete at Arizona State. My brother was at Stanford. I grew up on the West Coast. And but the decision-making process, even before I accepted the job, even in my materials that I prepared to accept the job, expansion was in there. And I think we had to be forward-thinking as far as what we needed to do, back to the answer that I just answered. And what do I think it brings more to the table even than athletics? Athletics, quite naturally, is a big component of it, but academics is incredibly important. You look at some of the alumni from USC, you know, the Steven Spielbergs, the UCLA, Jackie Robinson, Jackie Joyner-Kersee, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Stan Smith from USC. You think of all the different positive, powerful alumni who have a diverse background. So academically, athletically, the graduation rates of each one of those schools is over 92%. One of the things that caught my eye when I was interviewing for this job back in 2019, I studied every one of the universities across the country. And one of the things that jumped out about USC and UCLA and even the market of Los Angeles is that the largest section of Big Ten alumni, other than in the Midwest, is in Los Angeles. And there's so many opportunities that exist across the country. And so I've spent a lot of time, even before I came to the Big Ten, once I accepted the job in the Big Ten, and even these last couple years, always analyzing each and every school and what it means just for college athletics, what it means to the Big Ten Conference, and to make sure that anytime we have an opportunity to add incredible value, that we are prepared. So a lot of the work that we've done on any expansion, potential expansion we've done it multiple years ago. And then we're always in a perpetual state of analyzing the goodness of fit for any institutions that would come into the Big Ten Conference.
Okay, we're going to go over here, and then we've got one more after that.
Thank you, Kevin. Steve Hellwagon with 24/7 Sports, Columbus. It seems like this wave of expansion kind of hinged on a couple of things that made it so that you could, for lack of a better word, forsake your regional base here in the Midwest and go national. The ability to add more Big Ten Network subscribers in California, and a 10 p.m. Time slot for football that the Big Ten's never had before. Just how big were those two factors in this decision? And if you want to share a number on what the existing schools are going to realize as a benefit annually, just a ballpark figure, feel free to do that. But are those things going to drive future expansion as well?
I mean, it could drive future expansion, but, you know, one of the things that you said, again, back to what I said earlier, I always ask why and why not, is I think sometimes later time zones on the West Coast, people looked at it as a negative, and I always looked at it as a positive. So for us in the Big Ten to be, we're in 4 time zones. We will be in 2024, East, Central, Mountain, and West. And so now we'll be able to provide content all the way from the morning into the night and lead into some really incredible programming. So I think the value of being across 4 time zones for multiple reasons is really important. We haven't finalized the financial impact. And ironically, this probably will shock you, the numbers and finances associated with it are typically the last thing that I kind of consider and analyze. It's important for me from a business standpoint, but from a decision-making process standpoint, always look at all the other reasons why. Because if all the other reasons make sense, the finances will take care of themselves. So I'm looking forward to building, you know, a brand to be fortified and strong from Los Angeles to New Jersey and everywhere in between. So it'll be an exciting time, busy time for these next 2 years. And thank you for all the work that you do.